if you want to have more, you have to become more. Success is not something you pursue. What you pursue will elude you. It can be like trying to chase butterflies. Success, he says, is something you attract by the person you become. Hi, welcome to Life Expressions. I'm your host, Chari Hinete Elon. And today I'm going to talk to my former student, a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in Communications from University of St. LaSalle in year two. She's also a model, a brand ambassador, and a content creator. She was the operations manager of Lacawan Island Resorts and Spa in 2021 and property retail admin of Hue Hotels and Resorts in Boracay in 2019 to 2021. She's a former Miss Silka Bacolod, Miss Teen Philippines National Finalist in 2013, and Ilog Festival Queen in 2018. Please welcome my guest, Hannah Claudette Lladoc. Hi, Hannah.
This is Cherry, and hi everyone.
Welcome to Life Expressions. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
How's life treating you so far, Han?
So far, for me, life is sort of not like a walk in the park. It's like a roller coaster ride. So I have my ups and downs, may mga twists and turns. But so far, so good.
Yes. Han, you graduated in 2018, and you know what
Yes.
happened in 2020, like a year after, like you were already making that career of yours in Boracay, but in 2020, COVID struck all of us and caught all of us by surprise. Tell me what happened and what are your experiences during that time?
Actually, when I graduated in college, I already had a job waiting for me. So at first, I worked under a advertising company here in Bacolod, and then also garnered experience as a customer service representative for a BPO company, and then opportunity to work in Boracay. So actually, I sort of thought that I was starting to live the dream. Okay, after graduation, one of my dream jobs was to be part of the film or TV industry. But since sort of my interest is sort of shifted, and I applied for a hotel job in Boracay. And so far, everything was doing good. I was able to save enough, support my brothers and my family. And also, being able to work in Boracay is sort of like, a dream come true. I don't feel like I was working at all because of the location. But the pandemic was sort of a shock to me because, our blang feeling nga, amat-amat mo na gakapundar tanan, amat-amat mo na gaka-achieve ang mga goals mo, tapos gulpi lang na amo na siya. And not knowing who to blame, okay?
Because you have no one to blame. Yeah.
Yes, it's a pandemic. And especially nga, I was working in a tourism industry, especially, in the hospitality service. We were really affected because of the lockdown. And then tourists were not able to travel anymore because of the RT-PCR requirements. And a lot of the hotels were really affected. Damo nag-close. And aside from the closing of establishments, damo gidya na dulaan, ubra.
Yeah.
And I was actually really fortunate enough that the owner of our property allowed us to stay in the hotel until the lockdown was lifted. But, the living expenses in Boracay surged, gulpi, nagtaas ang mga rent, the bills, everything. Everyone was, panic buying. So I thought to myself na basi mapuli na lang kuguro. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was really nervous because it's sort of like nga natabo in real life. So I was away from home and my parents were really worried about me because lain-lain nga tao akong gakasalamuha.
Yeah.
And yes. So after that, I was really, I sort of like had an anxiety for a while. Okay, I don't know what to do. Okay, I was away from home and then though gulpi lang ko na frustrate. Okay, getting there, and then
Yes.
lang ko, I started from zero.
So, what happened when you went home? When did you start again? You said you started from scratch, you began from zero again. What did you do to pick up yourself?
Actually, when I just arrived in Bacolod, though hindi na ako kasahong, wala ko ubra, just at home, it's really making me conscious that I really have to find a job in Bacolod. But that's the thing, kay pandemic. So if I apply for a hotel job, it's like it's still the same scenario. Kay very limited lang gid ang tanan nga giyo sa tourism. I felt like it's not really my thing. So after that, I received a job offer to become the operations manager for Lakawon. It's
Yeah.
because of my experience in Boracay.
Yeah.
So for it's a really big leap kasi I worked as a retail admin assistant for in Boracay, and then when I came back here in Bacolod, I was offered to be an operations manager, which is a really big position.
Yes.
So I was really torn if I accept it, because I'm not really sure if I can do it, but also torn of not having a job.
Mhm.
So I accepted the offer, and then I said I'll try to learn along the way. And also I'm really thankful nga ang mentor ko sa Boracay really did a good job in honing me, and he taught me a lot of things na not related with my department. So I was able to easily adapt with the position.
Yeah.
I only lasted for 6 months in Lakawon, because after during that 6 months I was already conceptualizing in opening up a business. So I was just trying to save up, and then when the opportunity to start my business arrived, I immediately took the leap.
Business. I'd like to find out when and why did you have that concept of opening your own business?
Actually, it already started way back ever since I was in high school. So our family used to have a diner at home.
Mhm.
So the cook was my dad, and my mom did all the pastries. And then when growing up, I always had this vision of opening up my own restaurant, because cafes back then weren't really big of a deal, but restaurants are. So I said someday I'll open up my restaurant so that our diner would grow.
Yeah.
And then after that, the dream sort of died down,
Mhm.
because I shifted. I actually had a passion for journalism and being part of doing film. So the dream of opening up a business sort of like vanished for a while, because I
Mhm.
really wanted to pursue my career. And then afterwards, when I went to college, the dream sort of came up again,
Yes.
because nagdamo na di mga cafe sa Bacolod, and I was
Yeah.
really inspired na gusto ko man mag-open up cafe.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were saying that damo na kapihan di sa Bacolod, so why would you like compete pa kay damo na.
Mhm.
So actually I had a lot of ideas that I want my cafe to be different. I want mine to be in an open space,
Yeah.
very relaxing, which is very hard to find here in Bacolod. You have to go up in the highlands para maka-experience ng amo na siya klase nga ambience.
Yeah.
So I already I started scribbling down on my notes what kind of name my business would be. Nag-drawing ko anong uniform ang
That's great.
anong uniform ka staff, and then
Mhm.
anong amo nga menu.
Mhm.
So the dream was sort of like ever since I was in high school. So when I went to Boracay, that's where my vision started to fall into place. Kay dam gidya inspiration sa Boracay.
Yeah.
Actually, the name, the Exit Bistro, was already in the works ever since I was in college.
Wonderful.
So gapaminsar ko bi ano nga name ang nami bala pamatian if people would ask nga uy padiin ta di
Yeah.
ta makadto
Exit
di ta
Bistro.
makaon. Yeah. So when you say pa-exit ta, so it's
Okay.
sort of like, oh, catchy.
Yes.
Then, because sa mga millennials, balahaw, do ka very, mga one word lang ang mga name. Very catchy para sa ila.
Yeah.
And then I wanted my cafe to also be Instagrammable, because
Yeah.
it's also a term now na people use. So when I went to Boracay, it it so happened that there's also an exit bar.
Okay. Yeah.
So I said, ay basta hindi ko na lang guro pag i-push through kay may exit bar man.
Mm-hmm.
So but hindi ko gusto malamag ano, but I don't want to let go of the name because I really wanted it so bad. So I
Yeah.
googled and I researched if there's an exit restaurant, exit cafe, but there's no exit bistro. So I
Okay.
said, okay, that's it. Okay, that's
It's
the name
meant to
I'm
be.
getting.
Okay,
Uh,
that's good. So when did you finally open Exit Bistro? By the way, congratulations on opening your business at
thank
such a
you.
young age. You have your own business. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
So we had our soft opening last December 29, 2021.
Mhm.
And then we had our grand opening just this January 8th.
Yeah.
So so far the grand opening was a hit. We had a huge number of customers coming in. So it was really, very overwhelming. I have my friends from college were very supportive. Also my friends from high supportive kid. So I was really glad that the grand opening was a
Yeah.
success.
It's also worth mentioning that you opened this bistro, and then I saw in your Facebook post that you were doing it all by yourself with a little help from your family and friends. Like you did the painting, you did the design, everything. It just shows that you have so much passion and love for this business.
Yeah, so we really my family and I really worked together from ground up.
Yeah.
So the venue was already was already in place, but the installations, the chairs, the tables, we really had to repaint it. So instead of hiring people to do the job, my dad offered, because he's also in construction,
Yeah.
in the construction industry. So he offered na siya na lang, and then mabulig-bulig na lang kami. And then it was really very fulfilling, because that when you really work, you do it by yourself, you sort of feel like a gratifying feeling na nga ako ni nga budlay, so the ka worth it gid siya balahang.
Yes. So
And also
yeah. Go ahead. I'm
and
sorry.
also I actually have a business partner. He's based in Boracay,
Mhm.
and he's really the one who supported me all throughout, in consultation, advising about the business. But the legwork, I was the one in charge because he was based in Boracay. So we were just exchanging our opinions and inputs through online.
What makes Exit Bistro different from all the coffee shops, the cafes in Bacolod?
Well, aside from that we support, our coffee is actually one of the what's actually locally made. So
Okay.
it's from Minuyan.
Mhm.
So we try our best to support local. So the coffee is from Minuyan, Historia. And then I believe one of the things that makes the exit unique is the ambience, because from outside we are located in the highway,
Mhm.
but when you enter the gate, um, it sort of transports you to this beautiful garden, open space,
Yeah.
and then people can relax. So when they enter the cafe, so there's a couch where you can sit, or you can go sit near the garden,
Mhm.
or you can just sit by the trees.
Okay.
The ambience actually is a big deal for the exit, because that's what I'm really trying to portray. Because nowadays people, the coffee shops here in Bacolod are very industrial, are all industrial, who look for open space,
Yeah.
very laid back ambience. So most of these people really go and travel up in the mountains or in the highlands, because there are also coffee shops there.
Mhm.
But I also wanted to infuse that here in the city. So I was really, really lucky that the venue sort of fell into place with my visions. And there are already a lot of very great, or very well put coffee shops here in Bacolod. And I don't really want to compete with them. I just want to to be known as one of the best coffee shops here in Bacolod, the most visited coffee shop. So I just also I think also one of the things that I really want to highlight.
Yeah. Since its grand opening in January on January 8th, it's just more than a month that your
Yes.
Exit Bistro has been open. How has business been?
So far, there are ups and downs. So the first month was really great, because it's the first opening, and then the, going to February, there are like spikes. Sometimes we have good days, sometimes we have bad days, and I really anticipated this one. So I always I try my best not to be positive when
Yeah.
it comes to encountering these kinds of days. So whenever we have slow days, I always think to myself, it's okay. Bet. Tomorrow's gonna be better. And
Yeah.
then when it comes to marketing, I really try to apply all the things that I've learned in college. So I do the marketing myself. Also, I hire photographers, really, really good friends of mine, and then I'm the one who come up with graphics for the posters, and then the captions for the posts. And so far, we're getting there.
That's good. Yes, yes, of course. And I'm pretty sure that you will get there knowing how smart you are, how dedicated you are, and how much you love this business. You will make sure that this will succeed. But apart from this business, I'm pretty sure you're doing something else too, because you're also a brand ambassador. You are also a content creator. Tell me, what do you do to make yourself more productive?
So I time management is really the key. So every time I have projects or gigs that falls into the same schedule as my work, I try my best to manage my time. So um, our cafe opens up at 2. So every time I have like at home projects that I can just do at home. After work, I finish it. Sometimes I stay up late, to come up with my contents or to come up with graphics. And then afterwards, during my free time, that's when I travel or when I do my other gigs. And um, the people I work with are very flexible, so they know that I'm sort of a busy person nowadays, so they can really adjust to my time. And so far, I'm really able to manage this because I've been doing this ever since I was in college. So
Yeah.
school and then gigs and projects, just minor projects. So I sort of like got used um, to this routine. So it's not really new to me.
That's good to know. People are always looking at how millennials think and how millennials react, or shall I say, make things happen. How about you? What are you mindful of these days? What are you more concerned about?
Right now, I'm more concerned about how people um, react on social media.
Mhm.
Um, for me, everything is just so vague. There are a lot of um, misconceptions. There are a lot of words that are taken out of context. And all the contents that I'm seeing on social media right now, it's, sort of affecting me in some way because I studied in college. We used to study a lot of journalism ethics,
Yeah.
that you should always think before you post. But right now, there are a lot of fake news on social media, a lot of articles that mislead you. And sometimes it also can affect us, the netizens, not only millennials, but a lot of people, because right now everyone is using social media. It's sort of like the people are using supposed to be social media is a platform where you can fully express yourself, but not to the point that you can mislead people or step on somebody else's toes. So far, I'm more mindful of that because my brother is also taking up mass communication,
Mhm.
and Sometimes he asks, is this a reliable source? Sometimes I don't even know
Yeah.
because of how well the article is written. And then also, issues about the pandemic, it's also affecting, not only my business, but all types of businesses.
Correct.
So far, that's what's really, that's what I'm really mindful about.
Yes. What about your aspirations? What are your aspirations?
For now, I try my best to, dream big. And then right now that I'm able to open up my own business, I'm still hoping that it would furthermore flourish.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to open up another business, but to make this one a success.
Yeah.
Because I've been working so hard for this. There have been a lot of sleepless nights. And I just really hope, and I've been dreaming that whatever efforts that I have put into opening up this business would actually would actually give something back, that would actually would, like reaping the seed, or that would actually nga may mabalik gid sa akon bala nga
Yeah.
would that would be worth it.
Yes.
And that I would also become, like an inspiration to the younger generation, that your age doesn't matter. If you put your mind into something, and if you really want to do it, you'll be able to achieve it.
Very good. What are the challenges that you think you have overcome that would make you say, okay, if I have overcome this challenge, I can overcome anything?
So of course, before I was able to open up the Exit Bistro Cafe, there have been a lot of, negative opinions saying that, why would you open up a business during the pandemic? It's such a huge risk. And then sort of like, this supposed to be constructive criticisms, but it sort of had a toll on me, because knowing that, yes, it is actually a risk. It is actually a big risk to open up a business during the pandemic. But I really wanted it so bad, and I have been waiting for this opportunity to come
Yeah.
since when I can remember. And I said to myself that I know it's a risk, but if you just put your mind into it, if you just focus on how you're going to market, or what kind of service or products you're gonna serve, I think I'll be able to pull this off. And right now here in Bacolod, actually the pandemic is sort of like, dying down compared to the other cities.
Mhm.
And then but still there are a lot of people who are still afraid to go out. But that's the thing, because we follow protocols in the bistro, because we are obliged to follow these health protocols.
Yeah.
And another thing, one of the challenges that I have experienced is um, just basically how I will strategize on how to cope with the pandemic, because I was able to overcome opening
Yeah.
during the pandemic. So this time, the challenge is, how will I be able to cope with the pandemic since now that I have opened? So that's the thing. Ga-follow lang kami mga health protocols, and then ga-adjust kami sa curfew,
Yeah.
because there are curfews in Bacolod. So we have to adjust. So whenever there is a sudden announcement that the curfew will extend or will be shortened, so we adjust.
Yeah.
And then also, when it comes naman sa mga protocols like social distancing, of course, I have to also implement this in the cafe. And another challenge is, how long will I be able to cope? Now, so that's the tatlo. So how will I open during the pandemic? Next naman, how will I cope during the
Mhm.
pandemic?
Yeah.
And this time, hasta san o ko bala kaya nga mag-sustain
Mhm.
kay tungod pandemic.
Yeah.
So it just revolves around the situation we're in right now.
Yeah.
So far, these challenges, it's what amo ni siya ang gapa kusog pagid sakon, or gapa determine pagid sakon nga mas magtingwa pagid ko.
That's good.
So so far I'm able to overcome the first and second challenge. So last na lang gid is as the sun o kun ni balakaya. So
Yeah.
amo na lang gid na ang ako nga ginaano subong.
And hopefully the pandemic will end sooner than later.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
your business will not just cope, you will not just sustain it, but you will thrive with and in your business.
Yes, hopefully.
Yes. And like all the other millennials, Hannah, I believe you have a mantra that you say to yourself to keep yourself going, to keep yourself motivated. At this time and age where a lot of people are demotivated, what do you tell yourself?
I actually have two mantras in life.
Okay.
So the first one is a saying that I made up to motivate myself. It's if you're smart, you'll find a way. So every time I encounter a problem that I feel like I'm cornered or wala na gid ko kabalo kanobrawan ko, I just tell myself, hindi kay kung alam ko kaya ko gid niya mapangita ako niya paagi.
Mhm.
So it's sort of like a motivation for me nga alam ko ya, I have the will and intellect. So I can do this, mapangita ako niya paagi. And then the other one is a saying, it's actually an excerpt from the dialogue in Matrix.
Mhm.
So it was said by Morpheus. So it's don't think you are, know you are. So I have been repeating this for as long as I can remember. I have written articles about this mantra because it's really that saying that really, kept me going.
Yes.
Nga, hindi mo pagpaminsaron, ipatihon mo gid nga amo ka gid na. So don't
Know
think
that you are.
you are. No, you are. So if
Correct.
you think there's hesitation nga, ay basi, hindi ni siya mag-work or daw gaduwa-duwa ko nga hindi ni siya ang muguro ang para sa akon. But if you know, so there's like period, amo na siya. You're very determined nga kaya ko ni siya. So I have been saying that for every time nga feeling ko nga though may hesitations of doing something if I'm not able to pull it off. So I just keep on repeating it in my head. Don't think you are, know you are.
Very good. Yes. And you know that you are. Keep on believing it. Hannah, thank you so much for granting this interview. I know that you've been very busy and well, I hope that you'll always have the energy that you need to keep up with all the challenges and with all the busy and hectic schedules that you have. And I wish your Exit Bistro well. And for sure, when I go back home, I will visit Exit Bistro and support your business.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Cherry, for having me.
You are most welcome. It's my pleasure to have you here with me. And if you like this episode, please like, follow, and subscribe Life Expressions. I'm your host, Chari Hinari Elon. My guest has been Hannah Claudette Lladoc, and this is Life Expressions. Don't forget the statement that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, the ultimate measure of a man or a woman is not where he or she stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he or she stands at times of challenges. When you press on despite difficulty, tedium, and hardship, that's when you earn your improvement and gain strides on the competition. Hannah, you will definitely reap what you sow. Thank you once again for being here.